Welcome to the Dice Tower, a series of video reviews about board and card games. Here are your hosts.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Chris Yee.
And I'm Mike D'Alicio.
Welcome to a review of Scrabble. Now, the Dice Tower often reviews games, well, almost always reviews games that are brand new. But this year, we're starting to go back and look at classics. We've already, last time we took a look at... Chess.
That forgettable game.
No, I just forgot which game we had done. So Scrabble, we'll be doing this as the year goes by and maybe in the future. But taking a look at these, trying to give them a fair and balanced review, but there's nothing we can do to take out modern games from our memory.
Sure, of course, yeah.
I played Scrabble since I've been a kid.
Yep.
My parents had a copy, as most parents did. My mom loved word games.
That's my childhood copy that you're holding right there, actually.
And I never, ever won a game of it, probably because my mom was just so good at words.
Sure.
What about you guys?
No, I did
played
not
it?
play it as a kid, no.
I seldom, I think, ever have won it because, well, we'll discuss why later, but I mean, part of it being a kid and having a sibling 5 years older than you, you're going to lose.
I played this with my grandmother quite a bit. This was one of the games that was in the constant rotation to play with my grandma. So I have some definite childhood affection for it.
Okay.
But until this year, I hadn't played it in
Oh boy.
a
Probably a
decade.
decade, yeah.
I think the last time I played it was an online version of it.
Sure, for a while there was, what was that game? Words with Friends?
Well, there's that, but
That
I
was
played
straight
an
up
actual Scrabble too, like a themed one. But yes, you're right.
Okay, so Scrabble is a game about making words using 7 letters, trying to put out the best word you can to score points, and landing on double, triple letters. I mean, it's pretty basic. I mean, the overview is not very difficult.
Would you like to see an overview?
Oh, we should.
We should,
Yeah,
shouldn't
let's
we?
cut to
Let's
it.
see one.
Let's do it.
Here we go. Let me show you. Once the players have decided who the start player will be, and it will be this player right here, then they're each going to shuffle up all the letters in the bag, and each of them draw 7, and you are ready to begin. So you are going to be forming words on this grid, with the first word having to have a letter that goes over this space here, and scoring points based on those letters and any spaces that you cover. Keeping track of that on a tally that you'll set somewhere on the table that's not shown here, okay? So we're going to have this player here go, and they're going to put out the word, this word right here. So something like that. Again, the one of these letters has to go over this spot right here in the center. So they might spell that, and then you're going to get points for this. So the J over here, worth 8 points, is on a double letter score. So that's going to be 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 points. And you will write that down. And then this player will replenish their hand by drawing a number of tiles equal to how many they just placed. So they're going to go ahead and take, I'll show these, but normally you wouldn't. So they'll go ahead and pick these up and add them to their rack of letters, like so. And of course, you can manipulate these to start thinking about what your next word will be. And then this player will go. And they'll take a look here, and now you will, after that first word, intersect something so that you can rescore that and start building, of course, a crossword style letter and word grid. So they might do something like this. They'll do that. Like so. And so reusing this E right here, they'll build that word there. And we will again check what they covered. So this is a double letter space. So that D will be doubled. So 4, 5, 6. This is 11 with 5, 12. They rescore that. 13, 14, 15, 16 points. And again, you jot that down. They take back all the letters they spent or an equivalent number from the bag. And this is going to continue with you scoring words until all the letters in the bag have been emptied and someone has used all of their letters. At that point, then, we see who the winner is. You can also, on your turn, choose to discard some, one, none, all the letters you've got, and then draw back up the ones you are discarding, go back in the bag after you've replenished. And then it'll be the next player's go. If you don't have anything you can build or simply want to refresh some letters you'd rather not have, you can choose to do that. You'll also notice on the board we've got the the double letter scores and the triple letter scores, but there's also double word and triple word spaces, which are going to double the entirety of the word, okay? If any of the letters are on that space. And it's also possible you'll have a double letter score and a double word score that are being crossed over by the same word. You'll double that letter first, and then you'll double the entire word for that. And so that's basically it. Like I said, keep going until the bag is empty of all of these letters. Someone runs out of them, figure out who's got the most points, and they are going to be the winners of Scrabble.
All right, thank you, Z.
How about that overview?
Woo! You're welcome.
That's an overview.
All right.
Now you know how to play.
I like how you said it's not a very long overview. We're assuming that you didn't take 24 minutes to explain
It's
the
not
rules of
very
Scrabble.
long. It's not very long.
Well, it isn't a hard game to explain. I mean, this is
Yes.
one of the original. They used to. I mean, the rules are in the box list.
Yes.
That's old school. That's when you know
That
it's old
is.
school. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is. All right. Well, let's go. I mean, I don't know what everyone's opinions on the game is. I hate it. I hate everything about Scrabble, and I tried. I'm trying to give it a good shake. I don't like it. There's nothing about Scrabble I like. Nothing.
Really?
I
Okay,
find
no,
that-
let me rephrase that. I
Wow.
like the wooden pieces.
Okay, you
I
like
find
the
that very
components.
surprising. What?
And you like word games.
I
You
really
do,
like word
yeah.
games.
Because I don't particularly enjoy word games. We should probably define that,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Because Tom really likes word games. I am from ambivalent to negative on them, generally. I don't pursue them. If someone's playing, it's doubtful I'll be sort of looking over them to see what's going on.
Yeah.
I own maybe 2 out of quite a few games. How do
Okay.
the rest of you feel about it?
I'm a big fan of word games, and I think there's a very specific reason, and it's a very selfish reason.
It's called nostalgic.
No, it's
No,
because
it's-
I think I have an aptitude for words, and does that sound like I'm being
Aptitude.
braggadocious? If it is, then I'm sorry, but it's the same reason why, it's the opposite reason why I have trouble with games that are overtly mathematical.
Sure, no,
because
that's
I
fine.
don't have an aptitude. I'll play them, but they make me feel dumb. I think we're going to get into this. I think one of the biggest problems with Scrabble is that it doesn't do well at people with differing vocabulary levels.
Okay, well,
How about
actually,
you, Chris?
Yeah, no, I like word games in general, and I find them to be fun. I don't own that many of them,
Right.
actually. This is maybe the only one that I own when I took it out of my dad's place like 6 months ago.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't seek them out, but I enjoy it every time I play, or I typically enjoy word games playing them.
Okay.
well, let me explain why I don't like it. You already mentioned one reason.
Yeah.
Different level players, not even. That's in a lot of games, though. That could also have been used in our chess review we did.
Oh,
For
yes,
sure.
yes.
Well, we did say it for sure.
And even more so in chess. But that's not my biggest problem with the game. I mean, that is what it is. But here it's pronounced even more significantly if someone is trying to win.
Yes.
By that I mean the Scrabble dictionary.
Right.
The 70-some words that are 2 letters only, which you really do, if you know them, you will win. Because knowing that these 2-letter words, which most people don't use, exist, allows you to put more things out.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And that makes the game very unfun for the person who doesn't want to put that kind of effort into the game.
Okay, so that brings up this question of, is this a problem with the game?
Yes.
I don't know that that's fair. I think this is a similar argument to the alpha gamer argument in cooperative games, where is this an issue with the game design or is this an issue with the players? I would argue that maybe is knowing who you're playing the game with. I would have zero interest in playing a game with professional Scrabble players or even people that meet regularly to play Scrabble and come to the table with a dictionary. I'm out. I have zero interest in that.
Sure.
I don't think that makes the design necessarily problematic. I think that makes this is a game that, because it's been around for so long and is so popular, that people have gotten ultra competitive and have meted the heck out of it, and I have no interest in that.
I got that.
So
I agree with that because I would feel the same way about chess.
But I'm moving
You
in
know?
order here.
okay,
My biggest problem is just it feels completely random. Not
okay.
Again, I understand that someone has more
Sure.
word vocabulary, but I don't necessarily. I know a lot of words.
Yeah.
But
It's a strategic vocabulary. That's what's odd about it. You got to know key. You got to know, you know what I mean? Like you talk about all of these 2- and 3-letter words that are just strange and obscure that you're only going to ever use in your life in Scrabble. That's, I think, the strategic
like
part of
Wordle,
it.
which is very popular. And we're recording this in year 2022, so in 2023 you don't know what we're talking about.
Right.
But Wordle's popular because it's a 5-letter words, and you're using logic, and there's other things too. But they're 5-letter words, and I know a lot of 5-letter words. I'm trying to figure it out. In fact, I've yet to come across one where I didn't know the word. And in fact, Wordle goes out of its way where they say they do not use obscure, weird words.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Zed.
It's a real word.
Definitely a word, but yeah.
But it's not definitely a word. It's a word only in England. Therefore, does it count? And that's the other thing. Then there's the arguments over words.
There are.
But the fact is, when you're sitting there and you have all vowels and I can switch out tiles, I didn't have any fun. And then you combine that with the extreme length and silence of the game, because usually these games are silent. Everyone's staring at the board. I don't know. I don't like it.
One thing I think that a lot of people maybe, or at least I don't think about until we get into a context of looking at this critically, right? Because you don't usually look at these classic games at a critic. You look at them as, this is what I played when I was a kid, and it's impossible, like you said, to take this out of the prism of all of the other words. You can't, and I don't think we should. I think this is being assessed in the world of board games, and there are a lot of other word games that have come along and, quite honestly, done this better.
Upwards.
Right. However, I think one thing that I think we need to focus on is the little what's this? What would you call that? The subtitle or whatever. This is a cross. The tagline. This is like evoking crossword puzzles. So people that like sitting down back in the old days when there used to be newspapers and playing their crosswords, this is their game. Right?
I'd argue that the crossword, though, is more about knowing obscure trivia,
clues,
which is a different.
And truth,
but it's the shape of it.
It's evoking kind of. I think it's kind of the people that liked that are going to like this type of a thing, and it has moved along. I mean, I think that there are modern. You mentioned Upwards. There are others that have come along and done things that have kind of leveled the playing field a little bit, so that it's not strictly about obscure words or better vocabulary, because that is a problem. That does make it.
It does, but there's other things that are in this game that are problematic and do not rely on players, do not have anything to do with differing skills.
Right.
They're just a problem in the game.
Like the random tile draw.
Like the random draw. Like pulling a Q.
Sure.
And it's the last letter in the bag.
Right.
Sorry.
You're hooked.
You're done.
Minus 10 points instantly.
All those things are just unfortunate little quirks that are lucky and don't quite seem like they go hand in hand with how serious this looks.
Yeah.
And how respected it is. And yet the game has a considerable amount of luck,
Yeah, it does.
It's terrible in that position where you think, fantastic, I have nothing but consonants. Wonderful, I have nothing but vowels, right? And then sometimes you have a whole word balcony in front of you, and you're just eagerly looking at the board. Where can I put this? This is like, 32 points I'm sitting on, and I can't put it anywhere. It's got a lot of those issues. And yet I still enjoy playing it, and I think kind of what you said, it evokes the crossword thing. We haven't talked about like the bonuses on the board yet, the double letter and stuff.
I also hate them.
Triple word.
See, I think the triple word score is a bit silly because now you're just kind of playing avoid the edges of the board.
Right.
But I do love the placement of like the double letter scoring, because you're sitting there thinking, okay, I can put out the word, I can put out a logical word right here. But I'll take a second more and kind of think it through, because I really would like to get this 4-point character on top of the double letter score. How can I do that?
I don't mind that. I don't like double word, because every game of this I've ever played, whoever got a big double word or the big triple word, they've won. The rest of the game didn't even really matter. You get 50 points from a word, it's like, why did we play the rest of the game?
Yeah, I guess I haven't thought about the games I've played to see whether that's true. I can't deny that that's been your experience.
Well, I'm sure you remember in your life where someone was like, and boom, and you were like, that was the whole game, that one thing.
If you get a 40 or 50 point word early in the game, you definitely feel like you are very likely to lose.
I guess so. I mean, that's a lot of games. I don't know if I feel like, somebody had a great turn and won. That happens in many games.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying, but we built up to that point.
Yeah.
It's not like we rolled a die, and if whoever gets a 6 first wins, and you rolled a 6 on the 10th round. Why do we roll the first 9 times?
That also sounds like a bad game.
It does. That one sounds like a bad game. This one, you need to build to the 3 triple word places. You do begin in the center and
No,
make
and I
your
get
way
that.
there. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't think it's as pronounced, but I understand that the scoring is kind of wild. You compound that with random letters, you compound that with the limitations on the board,
Yeah.
and getting hosed at the end. And I think it's pretty lucky. Maybe,
Sure.
again, maybe the foil for that then is that thing we don't like. 2-letter words no one knows, except key or chi. That, like
Yeah.
playing the meta game is the foil for luck.
Right.
If so, that's unfortunate because I don't want to play that game.
Yeah.
I just don't want the luck in the first place.
All right. Well, I have, I'm sure, the lowest score of it, so I'll go first here. I'm giving it a 3, which is really low, and I get that. At the same time, I do appreciate this is a product of its time. You said this was from like 89 or something.
That printing rate, the copyright goes back to 1949, I believe.
It's an old game. It has a long legacy, and I know many people have enjoyed playing it, and I don't mean to detract from that experience.
Sure.
If you love it, that's fantastic. This 3 is my rating, and yet this is one of the few 3s that if some old lady or old man asked me to play with them, I would be like, sure. You know what I mean? I would do it
And then they
because
would smoke you
That's
at it.
right.
they would smoke me at it,
Absolutely.
and I would not like playing the game, but I get it. It's also a game people know.
Yeah.
It exists. So I just don't think it's held out. I think there are hundreds of word games out there now. We have lots of choices between these. I mean, there's I mentioned Upwards, but crossword pyramids I remember playing that
there's
even had the
lots.
Even the
same.
deck build, like even paperback and
Paperback,
hardback.
hardback.
And,
Right,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I tend to like that better. That's this. I think you're the second lowest, but I might be wrong. What are you?
Maybe. I actually like this better than Upwards.
Oh,
I think
really?
Upwards is too... my brain does not think of that whole, replace a letter with another letter, it's a different word, and
I
add
love
an
that.
S at the beginning, and then I did a different thing. And I hate the scoring in Upwards.
Okay.
The height of the letter
yeah.
times the letters or whatever. I like this better. But yes, my score is not that high. I'm split between a 4 and a 5. It's an average game, but I don't dislike playing. I'm also not much of a word gamer. I don't like word games. So I'm going to split it down the middle. It's a 4.5 for me. That seems a little silly, but let's be granular about it.
Granular, that's a good word. Play that on a triple word and you've won.
I
But
nuked
yeah,
it.
that's it. Game over
Yeah,
at that point.
Scrabble is one I will play with not grudgingly. I hadn't played till we played before this. I hadn't played in longer than a decade for sure, but it's fine. It's fun. I like the simplicity of it. It is elegant in its clunkiness, and it looks elegant, works fine. 4.5. This is okay. It's from the 40s, man.
It's so hard to assign a number to this. I'm guessing that you all had the same thought, right?
No, I had no problem.
I'm very waffling between 5.5 versus a 6. What does that mean?
Yeah.
I think numerically I'm going to go with a 5.5 because it has its issues. It has pronounced issues that I think many games since then have looked at and smoothed out. I still have fun with it though. I still enjoy even just our last play where I got hosed.
Yes, we did.
I
Because I
got
also
hosed
lost.
badly, yeah. And another one of those hands that was all vowels. And I thought, fantastic. Unless I can figure out what to do with away, then I have to waste a turn, burn letters, pull them out of the bag. But there's still moments where you get a really cool play where you get you lay out just a few characters, but it creates a word this way and that way. And there's clever moments even for somebody who doesn't have the strategic Scrabble vocabulary. Even then, it's still fun. So, if a 5.5 sounds harsh, it has its flaws. Am I saying that I enjoy this game more than Bonfire? Yes. Someone specifically said.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I struggled a bit, but I'm coming at a 5. I think. That,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were at a 7 the way you were talking about it.
No, because here's 5 means that but I'm in the same boat. I would have no grudges, no problem playing this game. But there are so many other games that do what this does better. So why not play those?
I have a problem. I'm just doing it to be nice. but I'll do it.
No, I don't have a problem. I would play this. As a matter of fact, when you guys were playing it the other day, I was like, oh, I would like, I was in the middle of something, but I would have
When we excluded you.
when you excluded me,
It was
I would have felt
very
good
pointed,
about sitting down and playing. I haven't, but it's a middle of the road game at best. It's a 5. To be honest, my thing about it is that, of course, I'd like to win, but I'm almost playing the game more than I'm playing the other players when I play Scrabble. I feel good at the end of the game if I've played one good word.
Sure.
Like, oh man, I got that one. That that to me is something that would bring it up a little bit, but it's not objectively a good word game nowadays. I don't think.
That's a good point. I think for me, it's almost it toes that line between game I play to win and try to do well and pastime.
Yeah, really. That's really what it's about.
It's like this idea of, arranging the letters and being like, ooh.
Yeah.
And I don't really care about the score. Like, you write it down, but it's almost like in a trick-taking game afterwards, you jot down the score. But I don't really care that much.
Right.
It's more about the autonomy of playing cards.
Being able to feel clever, putting a word you feel good about out.
It's kind of a pastime in a way. My brain goes there when I play a game like this.
Right.
All right, well, there you have it, folks. That's Scrabble. Tell us what you think in the comments. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Chris Yee.
I'm Mike DeLisio.
Have fun spelling letters, words,
Spelling letters.
sentences.
Zed.
Letters. That works.